Hey nerds, welcome back to The Letter. In last episode, we learned a little bit more of her backstory, and we see her getting a little bit closer to Hannah. So let's continue on and see where she's at now. In my restless dreams, I see that mirror. The one in the study. And in it, I see her. I see them. Lorraine and Hannah. Hannah and Lorraine.
Poor pathetic Marianne. Work, work, work. She'll work herself to death.
See, she doesn't listen. That's all she did. Look at what happened to me.
They talk amongst themselves with cruel smiles and venomous tongues. Or rather to themselves, two heads, one body. Horrible mockery of these women as if they were one of the same.
More's the pity. Life goes on and goes out and she doesn't even see it.
Do you think she'll even realize when she's kicked the bucket herself?
When they say a person has a hard time telling when they're in the dreams, it's true often enough. Even with the bizarre sight, even with the oblivious implication that this isn't real, I can't help but feel distress.
Likely. Is that any way to live at all? She might as well be dead.
Cruel fate that she's alive and I'm... well...
Though they speak it into each other's ears, tones low and hushed, I can still hear them as clear as day. Their whisper pervaded the air, heavy and oppressive. They bury and dig into my head with tiny maggots, worming their way into my skull. It isn't long that they take notice of my presence. Eyes turn towards me and I can feel small under their scrutiny. Caricature smiles act at their faces, mimicking each other grotesquely.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Have you been looking at us? Spying? How scandalous. Such a naughty girl.
I'm sure you were just waiting for something lewd to happen, weren't you?
You know she will not admit it. She thinks it wrong. You've said it so yourself.
Yes. She thought me wrong, impure, abnormal, because I loved her.
My breath hitches and I open my mouth to protest, but they stop me, screeching. The mirror that holds them cracks, lines spidering across the surface.
Do not lie! We know the gluttonous thoughts you try to deny, girl. All those desires you bury beneath that sickening guilt. You act the martyr when you turn the bed you lie in into your own hedonistic hell. You are nothing but a tainted soul with filth-stained flesh held together by falsehood and pride.
They look livid, and when it looks like they would lunge, I wake, feeling like wind had been knocked out of me. With a groan, I squint and find certain fluff balls sitting on my chest, looking as pleased as punch. She's the overlady of the cats, queen of despair and destruction of nice furniture. Though I can't stay mad at her majesty because it feels like she did something good this time. I was having a nightmare, but I can't even remember what it was about. Trying to recall leaving a terrible pit in my stomach. Maybe it's probably better that I don't remember.
Good morning, Baruthio. Who's the good kitty? Are you hungry? Is that why you woke me up?
A content purr comes from the sweet deer before she jumps off the bed and trots towards the kitchen. On the other hand, it takes me a bit more before I roll out of bed and start my day. Mornings before work is always quite an affair. Shower first, then a mug of coffee and a bowl of oats. Sometimes I do stretches, and I always check my work email. The Wrights will be moving into the mansion today. I don't think the paperwork is officially done yet, but it isn't too far-fetched to think they would allow to start their move despite that. Rich people like them always find a way to get what they want after all.
I'll be leaving you again today, Beth. So you behave and make sure not to shred up my new covers, okay? And don't worry, I didn't forget tomorrow is Black Cat Day, so I'll throw you a party. But only if you behave like a proper lady.
She barely gives me a glance as I say that before going back to her own food. Cats. Still better than humans most of the time. Too bad I have to work with humans. The place is already busy as soon as I get there. The foreman one that I've recommended to the rights for his work ethic is easy as usual. Already he's instructing men here, and there were the bigger loads. I have no chance to talk to Mrs. Wright. It appears that greets me with a smile.
Mrs. Wright, I hope everything has been to your liking thus far.
Good morning, Marianne. It has been delightful, and these men have been very helpful. Look at all this. It's so busy here. I'm getting tired just looking at them go.
No complications so far with the movers or the previous owners of the mansion, I hope?
If anything, the only one being problematic is Luke, if I'm to be honest. He can be such a diva, but I do like that about him.
She stopped, looking up at the upper landing when Mr. Wright comes through the two other movers and the mirror from the study.
Oh, do be careful with that mirror. We wouldn't want anyone getting hurt because of broken glass. Why are you even having it carried around?
Oh? You did say you didn't want the mirror, and I keep getting distracted by it. If I'm going to turn the study into my office, I'd rather not have it there. Where can we put this?
Well, you are not putting it in our room. Why don't you go, I don't know, put it in the wine cellar for now? We can figure out if we'll store it in the attic or somewhere else later, yes?
You heard her, boys. To the cellar it goes. Mush!
Movers bring down the mirror one step at a time, no matter how much the man tells them to hurry. An unsettling feeling grows in my stomach as I see our reflection in the bloody thing. And I look away, not wishing to risk anything. If I see Lorraine's image in the mirror again, I wouldn't know what to do. I don't have the luxury of privacy right now, and I am not going to break down in front of all these people. As soon as they go into the kitchen, I realize I'm holding my breath. I let out a sigh of relief, and I think nobody's looking, and then I go back to the task at hand. It'll be terribly busy today, and there's no need for me to even think anything else. I talk with the floorman, fill him in which room is which. It seems I'm doomed to not getting any significant work done without being interrupted when it comes to this particular client, however.
Marianne, dear, have you had breakfast yet? Well, I do believe it would be considered brunch at this hour.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Wright.
You must join me. Johans has already been breaking in the kitchen, as they say. I do not see the others settling down for a meal anytime soon. Someone might as well enjoy the food while it's hot. And that someone might as well be us.
I should say so. I really must say no. But the way she smiles, that makes it so difficult to do so. Look at how ridiculous I'm being, acting like a silly, nervous schoolgirl with a crush. It's just brunch. Who am I to say no to a client? It would be impolite to do so. It's not like I'm going to agree because anything of that property. I'm not agreeing just because she battered her eyes, lashes at me.
If you insist.
It really isn't any of those. But it's something about her eyes, rather. She looks like she needs a good talk. A friend. And although I'm not supposed to chum me up with my climates, there's no harm in pretending, right? Of course, I've been wrong on many occasions before. Maybe there is plenty of harm in pretending that I care. Because pretending I care might lead to actual caring. Being alone in the same room with the missus leaves me reeling, as I find myself paying too much attention to her. It seems so borderline unhealthy how much I'm getting obsessed, even if it's just by looking. And it's the little, insignificant thing I notice, like the way she plays with her hair or how she smooths down her dress.
Up, higher, come on now!
We already did this. Are we redoing this? Whiskey's annoying voice in the other room helps me pull back to ground. I'm just looking, aren't I? I know that someone like her wouldn't even look at me. Still, there's some time to turn around this bad decision.
I'd really like to thank you for inviting me to breakfast, Mrs. Wright. But I already ate, so I should really go back to work.
Nonsense! You arrived so early. You must not have gotten a proper meal. Sit. Sit! I'd situate us in the dining hall, but it is a mess right now.
Her concern is sweet, as is her smile. But I'm really not here for idle chit-chat, something I keep forgetting. Both were distracted when the food arrives, and it's enough to make me stay, at least until the meal's over. No more, no less, just to be polite. Thankfully, the conversation steers into a topic I'm comfortable with, work. This goes on for a bit, and I can't be more relieved. Most people don't understand calling me a workaholic, but I choose to work in a field I'm enthusiastic about. So what if my career is also my hobby?
But no, really, how have you liked it so far?
Oh, it has been wonderful, believe me. Everything is going smoothly too. It has been a long time since I've worked on something on this grand a scale. Nowadays, everyone is about condos and flats, living in the city where every room is an identical box. Believe me, this is very refreshing.
We lived in a condo before this, Marianne.
I didn't mean any insult.
It's fine, sweetie. Look at you, all frazzled. I was just pulling your leg. Luke wanted that penthouse when we got married, and you can thank him for purchasing this place as well.
Wait, doesn't she own the house? I'm pretty sure. I have no business with that, though. It's theirs to hash out. But apparently the momentary confusion had been visible on my face.
Don't be fooled. I'm just the treasury. I wouldn't be able to make a purchase this grand without his seal of approval.
I see.
That's it. That's all you have to say.
Yes, what else is there too? Without warning, the nice friendly chat developed into something horrible. Something sad.
But I really don't know what to say, Mrs. Wright. We were talking of no topic in particular, and...
Luke. We were talking about Luke.
About him not eating breakfast with you?
About him treating me as if I were some treasury.
Despite my general dislike of upper class, I sometimes feel pity for them. They may have all their money in the world where material things aren't the problem, but they don't see what they've become, and they've ended up where they've ended up, or what they've done most of the time. They shut down by their own trap, forced to play along with society's expectation and do anything to stay where they are to keep what they have. A world where even people feel or are treated like they are mere possessions. When someone is at the top, the only way for them to go is down. I've worked with many Hannahs and Lukes and Whiskies, but I've never been one of them. I don't pretend to understand their world any deeper than that. I merely know what I've witnessed before. She looks lost, speechless as how she's betrayed herself. My pity for the likes of her returns. Nothing but pity moves me as I speak before she can say anything else that might ruin or break her.
I won't speak a word, Mrs. Wright. Not only am I contractually obliged to, it would also go against my principles. This is no one else's business but your own, and it should be kept between the two of you. And whoever you wish to seek counsel from.
Please, Marianne. You have to understand. These sort of affairs, if anyone were to know this, they could just twist it and we'll be ruined. All I ask for is your silence on the matter.
The way she particularly begs me to keep quiet, it is about disheartening. I have no plans of speaking about anything I hear, especially if it is about their private affairs. The way she looks at me, the way she just expects some sort of fallout because of this, my heart clenched.
Well, I'm keeping that information confidential as well.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
Thank you.
The last of the food and drink is gone. The door opens as if on cue.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
This was a wonderful meal, Marianne. You're free to return to your duties. I must excuse myself.
It was my pleasure. And thank you for the food as well.
She stands up and leaves. All I want to do is reassure her again to prove that I am someone she can trust. So when she looks back my way, I didn't fight the smile that found its way on my face. I feel giddy. But the feeling dies downward after as I somber up. Oh well, back to work. Soon enough, I find myself drawn to the kitchen where the right butler has returned to. He's already claimed the space and telling movers to back off, and no one dares to question his proclamation.
My kitchen. No kinder allowed. Little men running around with knives especially. We do not want any accidents to happen now, do we? Good? Good.
I mean, it is a knife-wielding German standing there. I don't think anybody would be insane enough to refuse his request.
I hope I meet the age restriction, or at least the height restriction, because I'm asking to be let in here.
You are allowed inside, McCulloch, but not the little ones.
I really don't like this dude. I shake my head and I roll my eyes is all I give him. It's not like I'm going to be in any trouble for him. I just need to look around, get my bearings. The breakfast has been distraction enough. I don't even want to think about what we just talked about. I just need to get my head straight and get back to work. The movers work efficiently even when they're left alone, and they do quick work for their responsibilities. The head of foreman comes standing in the doorway to consult me on this or that, and I have to go help out every now and then. But they pretty much have everything up in standard. They skip lunch entirely, not even realizing when they do so. Nevertheless, all is well as the butler gets to the heating up of leftover bubble and squeak of the breakfast and makes a generous batch of fish and chips for them. Most likely simple in comparison to what he serves to the right, but well done nonetheless.
That smells good. Want to wrap up some for me to go?
It's an ideal observation more than anything. My thoughts, as they are, preoccupy me.
If there are any left. One can't go wrong with fish and chips. Everyone loves them. Even my husband. And he's American.
I really do hate getting so up close and personal with my clients. It's a distraction. It's so obvious to me that I've gotten my priorities all wrong, and I can't help but think about what I heard, what I learned about the right couple. These things have had a way of creeping up on a person. Thoughts, ideas, whether they're fact or fiction. They creep up and fester, crawl and writhe in ways that twist. I hear giggling, delighted and mocking. They creep up and the sensation of fingers ghostly briefly on my arm causes me to freeze and hiss.
Don't!
I half expect her to be there.
Whoa, no need to scream bloody murder! It's just me. Quiet down before you break glass.
But it's just whiskey.
Don't do that again. Ever.
I don't like being scared, though I don't believe that in the likes of spooks, being startled is not on top of the list of things Mariana liked. Lucky for him, I have nothing within reach, or he would have gone a friendly turn. We wouldn't have gone on friendly terms with something like a rolling pan.
What was with that reaction? Were you really scared? Has Johan's been telling you ghost stories? He just loves to scare people. Isn't that right, Brother Gurium?
The butler's expression is unreadable. I hardly see any emotions on his face to begin with, since I started working for the Wrights aside from vague amusement. It must have been something there, though, judging the Mr. Wright's own content look. The expression of Mr. Wright's face is almost cruel. But neither of them spoke, even as Johans leaves the room to serve workers their late lunch.
So, now that we're alone, Marianne, what are you so jumpy for?
I was just thinking about all the urban legends the movers have been telling me about this place.
Don't tell me you believe in that tosh. They're nothing but tales made up to scare children. Timmy, Billy, don't you dare go up to that big mansion and get in trouble there. The ghosts are going to get you.
That's a boring way to look at it, but that's usually what it is anyway, no? Like I said, I was just thinking.
It would be a relief, actually. If those rumors of this place being haunted is true, that just means I'm not going bonkers. Hearing, let alone seeing a dead person isn't exactly a symptom of a healthy mind. Sure, it means that there's such a thing as a ghost and goblins, but at least I'd be sane. On the other hand, there would actually be a dead girl walking around.
If you could excuse the inane question, Mr. Wright, you haven't noticed anything weird here?
A simple enough question on the surface, yet I notice the man stiffens as the question leaves my mouth. I wouldn't have noticed it if I wasn't watching his reaction intently, but in his eyes I see something dangerous.
It depends on your definition of the word weird. Are we still on the topic of this place being haunted? Because no, things have not started to fly around and we have yet to require an exorcism. I don't think my head would like to do the whole 180-degree turn thing.
Well, maybe that, but no strange people?
Aside from my usually weird butler and all the weird men traipsing around touching my things? No, not really. Why do you ask? Have you noticed anyone strange while you were here? Because you must report it to Johans and he'll have security handle it. But these reports better not be about ghosts and things that go bump in the night. I don't want to waste manpower on the boogeyman or senseless witch hunts.
I'll keep that in mind, Mr. Wright. But no, it's nothing like that. I guess the mansion is just strange for me. It's a unique project.
No strange men or women lurking about then?
Dead teenager would technically qualify as a strange. But yeah, the whole I see dead people thing isn't going to go over well.
None that I know of. But I'll inform Johans immediately if something comes up.
I'm serious, Mint. You see anything, anyone suspicious, and you report it. Immediately.
I think that goes without saying.
The concern he have on the talk of security is quickly gone. His arrogant smug smirk returns, if a bit subdued. Whatever smeary remark of innuendo he have at the ready never come through, as voices from the dining hall ring out.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do, at least not all the time.
I'm sorry, Zachary. That would be the magazine photographer, I presume. As well, Miss Wright talks in such kind and cheerfully fashion, no matter who she's talking with. It certainly puts people at ease around her. It sounds like it's working on the photographer, too. Hearing them, though, seems to put Mr. Wright in a sour mood. At least if his small scowl is anything to go by. Is he jealous? I don't really care if he's alright. I don't really care if I lighten the mood either. I don't want to... Where's he at again? I don't care if he's alright.
You're not gonna go out there and join Mrs. Wright? You're starting to look strained. If you want your picture taken so badly, I'm sure the photographer would oblige.
What is it that you want to do then?
Films. Documentaries mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on the thing, actually.
We need to get you away from the butler. You're starting to sound like him. No, I'm not joining Hana for an interior design magazine photo. What am I, a piece of furniture? Look, did the lot of you have anything else crucial to do today? Marianne?
There are still some little things to do. It isn't the end of the day yet.
Yes, but you're paid hourly, aren't you? Per day? Really, I don't care. You and the others can just take off for the day.
Why is he dismissing us early all of a sudden? Is this about the possible security threat? Did my question get him all weary and paranoid when he just sent the workers and I away? I realized the threats of actual concern of these rich and powerful people I imagine, whether anyone wants to or not. They get a few enemies here and there. I'm sure the foreman in his works can be trusted and are of no threat. Well, at least I trust people I'm working with. I understand if he doesn't. If he doesn't know them from a can of paint. I still won't be safer if there are people around who can watch their back.
You're the boss. My being paid by the day aside, I won't be held responsible for any significant delay caused by your decisions. I'll try to get around that, of course, but I'll just remind you of the fact.
Whatever, take forever with the house. I don't give a bloody damn. Don't you worry, you're still getting your money. Just sod off, go crawl around a pub and find yourself a good lay.
Paranoid or aggravated as he might be, the conversation didn't have to warrant that sort of remark.
Maybe I will.
Walking out of the kitchen, I just accept the fact that whatever he says will go under his roof. Miss Wright and the photographer are still far too busy in conversation to notice me, even as I make my way through the dining hall. Besides, I didn't want to ruin their fun.
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Going to the foyer has me stumble upon the family butler once more, who raises a brow at my presence.
And where are you off to in a hurry, Miss McCulloch? The foreman is looking for you.
The Bratwurst wants us off the clock. He's dismissing us early because of... Oh, I don't know. He just wants us out of here.
I'll go and call a cab for you then. It would be for the best that you leave when he asks you to.
I don't doubt it. My ride back to the city doesn't take too long to get here. Granted, there are some difficulties at first, because the driver didn't know where the Uruguru mansion is. He tried to have us hand over GPS coordinates on our smartphone or other technological I didn't care about, but the butler didn't understand. But as soon as he told him it's the haunted mansion on Anslem Village, he knew just the place. And finally headed over, a bite and with some hesitation. On the way back to the city, the driver keeps complaining about the place giving him the willies. It gives me willies too. I would have loved to snap at him. But as soon as the thought occurs on another blossom in the fortune of my mind. On that somewhat bothered me greatly. More than my exasperation or whiskey over this project. Or wanting all of it to stop. There's been no Lorraine whispering over my ears today. Worse. Worse, I find myself searching for it. Searching for her. The loses ends. Fucking bloody loose ends everywhere. I thought I've already moved past this years ago. And it does nothing but help me curb my frustration, if anything. If only ensures that I want a stiff drink. And where else do I want to go to drink? Tuesdays are for karaoke and Wednesday, improv. I usually it's these four guys who do a hilarious game. The one with the Irish drinking songs are always a crowd favorite. Though I would love a good laugh, stand-up comedy isn't my thing. And without Cam or Harana or any other distractions, I end up drinking a lot more this time. And when there's several bottles of beer in me, I get really, really embarrassing.
Hey! G! Psst! G! Come over here! I need you for something!
It's a good thing that the bartender is a nice fellow. I've probably been kicked out of the place by now, or worse. If push comes to shove, he would always do is give me an easy smile and shake his head, even when he's attending to other customers. Just like now.
Give me a moment, will ya? I gotta go check on her.
Here's some Asian guy. I'm pretty sure I've seen him before a couple times, although he never talks to anyone else except G. What up, Ash? The girls used to be all over him too, but he always turned them away.
I'll be here. You go do that before she falls over.
All right, all right. What is it?
Is this the same voice actor as the sheriff? Like, man.
Do you need someone to help you get home?
Bartender, pour the wine!
I think that's enough alcohol for you, little missy. I'm cutting you off.
A whine comes from the back of my throat as he pulls my bottle away. I have no hope of getting them back once they're behind the counter. Even in my drunken mind, I don't dare hop over for them. Because that little sense I have left knows I'd sooner take a floor dive than succeed in wresting a bottle from a sober man. But that doesn't stop me from trying to reach out with the arms like a stupid idiot anyway. He smiles and shakes his head, just like I know he would, before going back to the other guy.
Right now, where were we? How you holding up, boy?
No drink, and no one to really chat with, I would have gone home, or gone to sleep on the bar right then and there. But I'm not ready to stand up or try to trek back home just yet.
Same old, same old. I'm still on the Luxborn firm case.
What?
Those blokes they talk about being in dark suits, whisking people into the night or some shit and all that. Didn't the media call it some ridiculous name in the morning news?
What is it this time? Wait, don't answer that. They've called it a lot of things. As long as people don't start running around claiming they're the Illuminati. So, what have you got for me this time, G? Anything good?
Slow down there. You haven't even told me what sort of dealing dosh we got. Who are you looking into this time?
The talk would have interested me. Would I have kept paying attention if I gave a damn? But in my current state, I can barely give 2 fucks about the things going on around me. All these words are just buzzing, barely surfacing from the sea of the sounds of that is the pub. And it would have stayed that way, perhaps even drowned if I didn't hear his name.
Luke Wright. You know the guy. And don't pretend like you don't, G. It takes a special kind of ignorant not to know who he is.
That smug blonde who likes throwing round his money. He was just here a few days ago, as a matter of fact. Great tipper, if you think him just dumping a wad of cash on the counter after having too much whiskey counts as tipping. Why are you asking? He dirty?
You have no idea, G. He's probably the worst sort you can imagine.
Luke fucking Wright. Fucking whiskey. Fucking whiskey! Even without him around, I'm still hearing about that guy. What the absolute fuck. Despite this, I find myself getting up and sauntering over to join them before I pipe in.
Is this smack talk about Luke fucking Wright I'm hearing, eh?
Private conversation here, lady.
There's only amusement from G's face. The Asian guy, he starts to look ticked off as hell.
Don't worry, Holmes, she's clean. And she might be able to help you with your, predicament.
Course. A drunk's just stumbled through here with what I need. Get real, G. No offense, lady, but you're smashed.
I know, right? Nothing beats being drunk after a hard day's work. Especially when you're working for Mr. Luke Wright.
So, she works for the guy? Doesn't that make her, I don't know, suspect?
See, have a little faith in me, why don't ya? I don't have much, and you might as well have something to go off. You're the one who was so desperate to come running to me for business.
Yoo-hoo! Still right here, fellas. 5'11", can't miss me. Unlike Shorty over here. What's with that mad look? You want to dance, boy? You don't look like you can bust a groove. Maybe a leg, but with that fancy coat of yours.
To add insult to injury, I move directly behind him and use the top of his head as an arm rest. But when he shakes me off, I plop into the seat right next to him.
Don't try me. You can hardly stay on your feet. We don't want to ruin your fancy coat, do we?
Ah, children, the both of ya. But you're still standing after all that, are ya? Matt, you see this giantess? She's a legendary regular here. Been drinking like there's no tomorrow. I'm a bit jealous. Can't do that anymore or my liver will give out on me. Good with the mic, too. Don't see you much recently, but I guess you're always busy, aren't you? You're some fancy designer or something, if I remember correctly.
Wait, I know you. You were at the open house for the mansion.
Yeah, that's right. Marianne McCulloch. I'm a famous interior designer extraordinaire. Ooh, that rhymes. Anyway, you guys were talking about that weenie Luke Wright, right?
Or something. Can't really talk about it. I don't even know if I can trust you, even if G said you're clean. But anything would be of help.
Well, I don't gossip about my clients, if that's all there is to this.
You wanted to gossip about him a few minutes ago, Marianne.
And that was the beer talking, not Marianne.
You won't mind if we ask the beer a few questions then?
Maybe. Depends on who's asking and what they're asking. But seriously, that guy is abso-fucking-lutely frustrating. One moment, he's an absolute dickhead. And then he's acting like an actual decent human being the next. I just can't figure him out. I can't imagine how that pretty wife of his can put up with him. If I were her, I'd dump his flat arse straight up.
I'm not just saying that because I think Hannah's pretty or anything. Luke is a catch too. They both are. But I really cannot, for the love of all things that are holy, see how they even work out together.
So, Luke Wright, have you noticed anything strange about him while you were working with him? Anything peculiar? Of note?
You're the one being peachy right about now, Holmes. But nah, Nothing that comes to mind off the top of my head. He's just like most rich, smarmy arseholes and then some.
I giggle bubbles up as I press my cheek against the cool countertop with my eyes shut, tight just because. Eventually cracking one eye open just in case they thought I fell asleep. I grin at Holmes.
So, Holmes, I'm guessing you're some private detective or something. Is it Hannah? Did she pay you to look if he's been cheating or some such?
Hannah's the wife, right? What about her? How is she?
How is she or how is she? Well and good. Definitely the nicer of the two and sexy as sin to boot. Not a private detective then? Are you from one of them tabloids wanting to know if the Luke Wright doesn't know how to put his pants on right? Pants. I'd take the pants off of...
Ah, here we go. Slipping. I haven't been this drunk in such a long time. It's a miracle I've been coherent as long as I have been right now.
I'm asking you if you've noticed any odd behavior from her.
Odd behave... You what? I wonder how she'd be drunk. I can just imagine her like the giggly sort. What do you think?
These are serious questions, Marianne. Lives might just be at stake here.
What do you expect? She's smashed.
Why am I even doing this? This is getting me nowhere, G. She's not a reliable source. The chief, let alone the courts, aren't going to take the word of a drunk. This'll be dismissed, and I might be in trouble if they try to argue that I coerced a testimony out of her. This is a fucking train wreck.
You're a fucking train wreck now, if you ask me. Maybe it's about time you apply the brakes and stop for a bit.
The wave of despair that comes over the both of them is quite appallable. If feelings had a taste, it'd be bitter than the beer I'm full of. And that it's getting me thinking. Though thinking doesn't get me far with too much shit on my mind.
You know that's not an option. Thanks for being patient, McCullough. Good luck with your work on that mansion.
Speaking of that mansion, there's something going on in that place. Something... As och day! No wonder Mr. Wright likes it so much. It's as fishy as he is. Rotten bloke. Maybe that Santos girl is really onto something, eh? Suspicious shite, I'm telling you. Explains why she's so reluctant.
What do you mean that Santos girl is onto something?
Before I get another word out, there's hands on my shoulder and everything starts to spin. I quickly slap his hands away the best I can and send him the foulest look I muster.
Take your hands off me, pipsqueak. I'm not a lady who's shaken or stirred unless you want me up-chucking on your pretty hair. But it's just like I said. Are you sure you aren't brain damaged or deaf? Santos girl from BRC showed us this creepy letter. You know, just like those spam stuff you get in your emails. And we thought it was some joke or that the girl was just a bit too green to handle a big sale like that. You should have seen the look on their faces when they saw it. Whiskey, that's Luke fucking right, you get me? And the missus didn't look too happy either. I should have taken a picture and posted it everywhere. When rich snobs give you that face, no wonder the Santos girl went all mental on us. Working with them does that, you know? I think I'm about to. I'm not mental yet, am I? Anyway, just like I said, in that man... Hey, you okay? Holmes? You're looking a bit shaky yourself there.
And he really is pale. Paler than before, at least. I can see that gears turning in his head on over time. Suddenly, he shows a card in my hand. On his name, Ashton Frey, and his number. And he has second thoughts as he grabs it from this, slips into my pocket.
You're cute, pretty boy. But I prefer blondies.
Well, you're not exactly my type either, lady. But listen to me. If something comes up, don't do anything rash. If you think you're in danger or if you see anything suspicious, call me and the authorities as soon as possible. You understand me? That's 99...
I know what the damn emergency number is.
Right, 999. Good. Anyway, I have to run. See you, G.
The guy's quick on his feet and already up and get him as soon as the number leaves his lips. Watching him as he maneuvers through the crowd of the other pub goers, it's enough to tire me out. Fast as he can, he's at the door and throws a smile. That's all we get before he's gone, just like that.
Oi, what about your drink, boy? I'll go put it on your tab then.
Holmes boy always like that, G?
Pretty much. But what about you? I suppose I'll put your drinks on your tab too. Don't want you to spill your wallets when you look like you're close to spilling yourself.
Yeah, and if it's fine by you, I think I'll go take a bit of a cat nap here. Just for a sec or two.
Go right ahead. I'll wake you when I close up shop.
Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed against the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have of sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can't get much sleep to begin with. Alright guys, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I like her, like, backstory. I do wish there's a little bit more, though, to it. The scares in this, like, I like the drawings and stuff of it. I think it looks really good. But I'm kind of at the point where I kind of just want to know what's going on in the house and stuff. And as much as I like these characters, I really do want to know what's going on in the house. So I hope that picks up pretty soon. But I feel like it's not going to be, like, really her that's going to be able to figure this out. I feel like she's just kind of intertwined in this tangle of them and stuff. But either way, I'm still enjoying it. If you guys are bored and want to check out some other stuff, look at my other content. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great and wonderful day. Bye!